left to Mir, and he can't get past them. Axar with 3 kills to begin the pistol. And Gambit, they hit the ground running here on their map pick. Looking to get off to a good start. Nice flashes into Monster, it's got to be said, but Team Spirit not able to capitalize on them. Great responses from the Gambit crew. I love how they just kind of rush down these players in the site. They don't give them any room to work with. And that's a dominant start built up early on.
Yeah, definitely hoping for more from Dexter, as you say, right? With 3-4 players blinded in front of him, if he can get a couple more kills, maybe it's a round for Spirit. But nonetheless, you've got to deal with what you've got, and it's the scouts in round number 2 for Spirit. Only 1 AK for Gambit. They're going fast, though. Look at these MAC-10s charging up long. Timing is everything in this map. And Dexter, does he know how deep Nafany's gotten? Because if he starts to discount this long position, he can get wrapped through the toilets. Gambit are going very quick, and Dexter knows his timings. He's back up to the site already, and he will be able to spot these players with a quick peek off the scout. There's something in terms of the tag. That's the bomb as well. Huge amount of information for Spirit to grab so early in the round, but it might not matter as the rotates can't be found because Gambit are already into the site.
Oh, and Nafany's just charging Dexter out of the round. Sumdai Young is dropped on the con rotation as well to make matters even worse. And with the smoke now falling here, Team Spirit are cut off. Axel not missing a beat. And this is looking like a save, just having to give up this A bomb site. Gambit looking ferocious. They lock in this second round. And for Spirit, all they're hoping to do is hold on to these scouts, hold on to these armored players. Very, very fast, very explosive from Gambit. And man, I mean, like, what a way for this semi-final to go for both of these teams. The fact that it's these two facing each other, right? These two have had like a bit of a back and forth recently. Yeah. Gambit winning the majority of those, interestingly enough. I love the duel of Shiro versus Dexter. Oh. Magics don't survive there. He spammed through the wall and then finished off by the MAC-10 on Hobbit.
Yeah, this is going to be an explosive game, right? It always is when you pit 2 CIS teams against each other, but in such a high-stakes matchup as well, that's what makes the money, Harry. That's what brings all the attention, because this is going to be one hell of a game. Worth noting as well, the confidence factors there for Gambit. We're already seeing it out of the gate. 2 very fast rounds to start. And as mentioned by Yanko on the desk, I mean, these guys lost back-to-back overpass games at this event to EG and Heroic. It still didn't deter them picking it against Na'Vi and taking a win there, and now they brought it into the semis as well. Gambit to be feared, and Spirit are learning that the hard way. Only pistols in this round, aside from the saved scout. But one of these 2 pistols, or one of these saved pistols rather, might be able to find something off the boost. Axel's further than maybe Spirit are ready for, but jump spot of the barrels could gain info. Mir with a check, and well, that was the one player you're really relying on this B bomb site to get anything done. They do take the deagle, but no armor. And again, Gambit, they've walked up long. Why not? Free real estate, mate. No one here. An empty bomb site and a 3rd round looming as Gambit sneak their way to success.
Oh, Hobbit even hears the rotations. He can come in on this late lurk. Nafany's deep within the bank as well, and I don't think Team Spirit are going to be ready for this. Maybe till it's too late. Just tucked, playing it safe. There's the kill. Nice and easy. Chopper out of the round. And yeah, the save call coming through again, just trying to back on off and not give all this money over. But they're getting pincered, right? This was always a doomed round from the offset. You've even got Hobbit still down towards this B bomb site ready to deal with the last man, but Inters is going to beat him to it. So lots of money made. Nice, clean rounds for Gambit as they go 3-0 up, and now we have the rifles coming through for Team Spirit. This is where they want to make an impression right away. You don't want to let Gambit keep building upon this momentum.
Yeah, it's a worry, right? We saw Gambit were not scared at all on the CT side versus Na'Vi to get aggressive, to play, you know, play in the face of Na'Vi in the CT side of Overpass. We're talking pushing monster smokes. We're talking taking that mid. And so Spirit, yeah, eyes on them to have something on their mind out of the gate to maybe try and force some fights rather than let Gambit get all this map control. We see the deep mid molly, one towards B as well. Nafany will charge through. That short water control is taken for free. The molly is just a deterrent. Certainly could push with it as a CT, but not wanting to offer up kills. They could be chunky, and it is. Chopper eats them for breakfast, 2 to the face. Oh, and the boost is perfect. The lineup sprayed down by Axel, and they can just commit. Why wouldn't you? Mir drops the nade, but they're already up and past it, and Mir can't hit the shots. Axel is on one today.
What is
3,
happening?
Looking for the ace. He will lose Nafany, but the B site is empty.
Oh, what did Team Spirit even do here, right? They're hanging around, see if they can get anything to make it worthwhile, but I think they know that this is already shaping up to be a save. As we say, you know, you wanted to hit the ground running if you're Team Spirit. You wanted to find something in this first rifle round, but instead, Axel just lights them up from the boost. The nades are perfect. And as you say, he's having a lights-out performance to begin this game. He's 8-0 right now.
Oh my, where there's one, there's another. Inters was just cleared from the toilet, and now Hobbit, he's got kills to find as well. Think about how influential Inters was against Na'Vi, just coming up on these late lurks, these mid-flanks, while Gambit were hitting B in that quarterfinal. The AWP, oh, Hobbit skated right by, but Young has the cover. Good turn as he sits behind the smoke. That could have been catastrophic for Spirit's economy. It's still not pretty. 2 guns saved as Gambit run away with the 4th, but better than nothing for Spirit. And yeah, they were so ruffled by that double nade on the barrels. They didn't know where to look, certainly not the boost. Nice little combo for Gambit, the 1-2 punch. And also it kind of plays into the fact that if you get double naded barrels, okay, yeah, well, you've hit, you know, taken a lot of damage, but they're not going to throw more nades, right? So why change your spot? Why move position? That's why.
Yeah, we're already seeing a lot of ideas come to fruition for Gambit, and they haven't been contested yet. Team Spirit back in with the reinvestment. Chopper on an MP9. AWP still in the hands of Dexter. Saved forward. Decides to peek mid late, and that means that Inters has already gotten up and past them. He's going to go back towards these A fakes. As you mentioned, he was so influential the other day. If you compare the impact that Inters was having on this T side with the A-lurk, and then compare that to what we were getting out of Boomich, right, when he was in that same role on the T side, it was just night and day, man. The difference was so apparent. You know, Na'Vi were always caught rotating at the wrong times, and it felt like Gambit were in their head. This is interesting. Spirit looking like they want to try and crunch Monster, try to get rid of the pressure here. And they deal with Axel. They put an end to his flawless streak. And now that they know that Gambit can bleed, maybe they're feeling a little more pumped up in this round. Dexter up in this A bomb site. Nafany is nearby. But he doesn't know that yet.
Oh, he's re-aggroing as well. His teammates should have the toilets. He spots a player going down B. There's still a lurk, though, that they might not be ready for. They grab that info, but surely at this point, Spirit know it's going to be a B play. They need to drop rotations pronto. That's a no-scope for Dexter, and it's going to be Gambit charging in, 2 men down. Young just trying to stall. He will die to Hobbit eventually. It's Chopper rather at Monster. Young drops the bomb instead, and 20 seconds for Gambit to get something done. Anything. They're begging for mercy as Dexter sits in heaven with the AWP as well. He is smoked off, but Hobbit getting a plant is not going to be realistic as Mia lines up 2 towards short. Spirit, nice bit of aggression. It was about time, right? I think what's key there is the escape through connector. Young is down lower, but he hears Gambit get out mid. He knows they're in con, he knows they're in mid, he knows Dexter isn't supporting him, so he drops the smoke, he jumps out the door, and luckily Magix had already taken that short water position, so he's at least joined by a teammate into safe haven, and then that Monster push to not only get the advantage early, but to send players back up on the A rotate that eventually gets them the info. It's back and forth and back again for Team Spirit, but at least they get on the board.
Oh, and they're still trying to contest this short control. Mir hiding in the smoke, playing around it, taking a wide swing, and even though he's flashed off the angle, he still hits a very good timing. Now, there is a second man here that Mir is not made aware of. Nafany blindsides him, and this is where you were hoping a trade was going to be available. Young smoked off in the connector, allows Hobbit to push on up. While this is happening, Inters is still working some of his magic over here towards long. It's a 4-on-4 early in the round, and so Gambit, they just kind of bring it to a bit of a screeching halt. They don't give any information over. Ooh. And they start to stack up over here at B, but a boost employed down beneath Chopper. That's where Nafany is. He gets the spot, gets the kill, and puts it back in favor of Team Spirit. Gambit still leaning over here towards B. Flashes are in, and Chopper is looking to get aggressive with them. Miss Molly, not ideal. They have a lot more room now at Monster, and Inters uses that to his full advantage on the entry. Even though the flashes are good at delaying the take from Gambit, they are still making a bit of headway over here towards B. Bomb's actually going up connector.
No way, Shiro. He's
Surely
playing for the clutch. He's playing for the
but
1-on-3
it's 16
right
points of health. It's a ballsy decision to have made.
They've fallen for it.
Yeah. Actually, wait a minute. They hear the footsteps now. They hear the running. They start to rotate up. Young is going to deal with both players down in B. And the nade might be good enough. There it is. Even though the bomb plant comes through, they play for the clutch on Shiro, and Dexter denies it with the utility. A big nade. And an AWP retrieved.
Yeah, he might be calling to come get the second AWP if they want it, but just sticking with the AK for now. That's yeah, that's great for Dexter. He hears the footsteps, as you say. I think Shiro could have walked a little longer, and he might have had time to get away in the post plant, but Dexter hears everything, and a massive hold from Young in B. He just never peeks, right? He hides in the water. Gambit desperately looking for the kills, but Team Spirit, no, with 15 seconds, they think the bomb's B. They just don't have to give away the kills. Once that realization sets in, Chopper swings and kills 2, and at that point, Dexter's already ready with the artillery strike on A. My oh my. Spirit, full of surprises. They won't let Gambit sneak one through the net. 4-2, and finally Gambit's money is starting to look susceptible. The loss, it's a pistol for Axel. They still have the AWP at least. And plenty of rifles for the time being. Flashing out mid. And a methodical mid-take. Gambit have been centered towards B in most of these rounds out of spawn, right? Running a default, 1 com, 1 A, and then 3 taking that water or monster control. Right now, it's a complete switch up. So our Spirit ready for the change. Young at the toilets, Dexter AWPing, and this is big info for Mir as well, right? Getting this short water, especially uncontested. You know that Gambit don't have that many players towards B. At most, they're hiding outside a monster, but Spirit have shown that they're not fearful of pushing the limits through these tunnels, and once again, they're crunching the B site right now. It might be too little too late. Gambit could just commit into A, but at least Spirit know what's coming.
Yeah, you're going to see an early rotation out of Magix and Mir as a result of this information. So these players getting up into position ahead of time, that's something that could really give Team Spirit the upper hand here, as both players are given a nice berth to get up into this A bomb site. Axel digs out Dexter. Magix burns alive from 100 to 0 in the Molotov on Dicebox. I don't know how that's just happened. Gambit, they've broken apart this 4-man stacked A bomb site without even losing a point of health. Finally, the first man falls for Gambit, but it's Axel all the way down in connector. He's not even really getting to play into the round. So Mir tossed in. An impossible retake is cancelled out by Nafany. And Chopper's still aggressing up, but I imagine we just see him, you know, turn around, pull the 180 and look to save in this situation. He doesn't want to have to commit to it, but doesn't really have any other choice at this point in time.
No kit. It's not like he can even play for a ninja defuse. He's going to just have to hold, and he will survive in this position on full HP, but this is still not the round the Spirit wanted by any means. Very weird.
What happened to Magix as well?
Yeah.
Like, so Dexter pushes short and dies to the Deeg. And then Magix, 100 HP on the dice box, just burns to death.
Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. This is weird from Dexter. He wasn't like looking ready to be scoped up, looking for a fight. I don't know what the... okay. Oh, it spreads round the box. He's trying to remain hidden from long and short, and it goes all the way around the box. That's so unfortunate.
I think Magix is like one of these potential linchpins of this game for Team Spirit, right? I think, you know, with him being the youngest player here, you know, these are the moments where stress, the idea of, you know, this being probably the most important game you've ever played, right, can really start to get to you. And with deaths like that, dying to a Molotov from 100, you are going to be feeling that pressure in a big way.
Boy.
Now down 0-7. Magic's dropped again at the first hurdle, and with it, the entire B site given over to Gambit. It might just have to be another save immediately called for Team Spirit.
These great rounds out of Gambit. They've got the read on the game right now. Nafany, he gives a lot of credit to supporting cast, to Hobbit and Shuro especially, but man, whatever he's saying to the team, it's working. They are finding every gap in the armor, every empty bomb site. And even when Spirit seemingly know what's going on, that doesn't seem to be enough. Gambit up to 6, and with 5 alive as well, they salvage their economy for just that little bit longer. Spirit at least can rebuy, right? They have no fear in investing in a round like this. They've got the loss bonus. And And regardless of what weapon Magix is on, the rest of them are armed well. I mean, an M4 can even be dropped over, so it's not a concern of Spirit at this point. But getting around is lacking it on the CT side. And if Gambit run away with 10-5 half or something, Spirit are going to be real worse for wear on Gambit's best map, or go-to. Smooth stuff.
Something that is scary as well is we haven't even had to see Shiro really do anything yet, right? Like, he's 1 and 2. He's seen 3 people in this game.
That's a nice feeling.
Yeah, right. It's just the rest of the gang getting the job done. And you can see Team Spirit, because of how Gambit have been, like with the constant pace changes, you never really know when a push is like a fake or a commitment. You're kind of just taking a few gambles out of spawn, like in that previous round with Magix alone in B. This time, 3 players here. Nafany is through short. Mir, head on a swivel, is quick to react, but there is Shiro with the trade. And now they're seeping in through Monster. Chopper desperately trying to step up here. He knows he's got to be the difference maker. The flashes start to rain over. No one's pressured him yet. Silence falls over here towards B. Dexter with the wide swing. There's another man nearby, and Chopper's going to cancel him out. It's Shiro left up in the clutch. We know this guy's clutches have been something else. So don't underestimate him, Team Spirit. Holding a Monster. He does get past Chopper, that first line of defense. You don't want to give Shiro too many 1v1s here. He's somehow always good to capitalize on them, and he's just waiting right now. 30 seconds. There's no harm in saving if you're Shiro. As good as the clutches have been, some rounds are just too far gone, and this might be one of them.
Yeah, it's a round where if he gets fed Monster, he'll go for it, but there's no way the Spirit are going to make that mistake, right? They rotate Dexter up in case Shiro's gone for the full wrap round, but with Chopper tucked on the right side, Shiro knows clearing Monster is so difficult. Young is even going for the gun. He's planning for the save, and he knows exactly where Shiro's sat. Will this work wonders? Shiro seems aware of the possibility, and he might just tuck behind the boxes. Oh, it's going to have to be a spam for Young, and he's not moving fast enough. Here it comes, but a bit of doubt at the end, and probably the right call, right? Like, even though there was a chance of the wall bang, you don't want to lose your own gun in a situation like that. Spirit are only just getting back on the board. They're only just building up their money. Sometimes keeping players alive is more important than killing your opponents, and that's an example of it. Nice hold from Spirit, though, on B, right? Gambit, they go in with no flashes. They try and contact players. What worked around prior, but that was only because Magix was alone on B. He peeks out, he dies, the round's over at that point. But Spirit actually have an entourage down in that lower bomb site. So not as free this time around for Gambit. And back to the drawing board, I think.
Yeah, Magix also broke his silent streak in that round there, right? So hopefully we can see him step it back up and, start to find his footing here. Are we going to get a double con push from Team Spirit? They've got 2 here, the AWP on Dexter, accompanying Young down into the connector, and they boost him early on. He can watch mid from this. This is a dirty little setup, right? 2 players ready to play off of one another. You see Dexter, and while you try and chase that AWP down, Young has got his back. It's not going to be easy. Are they ready for this boost? Gambit giving it a look in, and Hobbit just domes him. Dexter out of the round, and now they suspect that there could be a second player here, right? Someone had to put Dexter up in that position, so they molly off the connector. Young is locked out of the round, and Chopper, having to rotate in quickly, is thrown out into the open. This is another save. Gambit, they're ending the rounds that they win within the first kill that they get, it feels like. They get one, they're so quick to capitalize. They know that they're ahead of Team Spirit in that situation there. And so it's another round just written off for the Spirit boys.
Yeah, even though you can actually jump on that on that shelving, I guess, like without a boost. Yeah, it seems pretty obvious to Gambit. Like, someone holding an AWP there, there's no way he's not watching bottom con. Like, there's no way he's leaving such an integral piece of the map just open and hoping he doesn't get walk cleared. So yeah, good read from Gambit. There's a second player there, and that Molotov just denies the air rotate. I was getting scared when I saw that setup, because we think about the amount of rounds that Gambit just walked out long. Like, it's how they started this game, just going up long on the anti-ecos, clearing the MTA site. And so Spirit could have hit bad timings there if they're double set up in connector, but it doesn't even matter. Dexter just gets deleted by Hobbit, and Gambit just run the gravy train all the way to the A site. No contest, no rotate, no chance for Spirit. Gambit are ready for no matter what gets put up against them.
Ooh, aggression into short water again. But the molly is tagged Chopper low. This could give a kill over. And indeed it does. Short control now grabbed by Gambit, but they don't take it yet. Instead, they just take the 5-on-4. They're pretty content with that. And they keep Mir off the angle with these flashes. So he doesn't even really have information as to what's going on at short. And right away, you know, the immediate call to head back up towards this A site. And this is the problem with Gambit, right? As I say, constant pace changes out of them. You know, one round they'll get a kill and suddenly they explode into the bomb site. They get that killer and, you know, you're always caught mid-rotation. Other rounds, they'll get this kill and then the whole map just goes completely silent and Spirit have no idea where Gambit can be right about now.
Yeah.
The entire map covered in the fog of war. For Team Spirit. They rotate up a third man into this A bomb site. All they've really got is to take a bit of a gamble in a situation like this. And with how it's shaping up, that gamble could pay off. 3 players in the right place at the right time. Dexter, we want him to deliver on this AWP. He's going to have to. If Spirit want to get this round in the bag, flashes out through long, leave Dexter blind. They get close, and there's that AWP in with the first, but a lot more bodies around this corner. Dexter, they're rushing him down, and everyone inside of A is just picked to the curb by Gambit. Magic's left up all alone in the 1v3. And not being given any room to play with. I think Shiro heard the footsteps there as well. Magic's emerging from the bank, does clear out the first man, but sitting at the truck idly by is Hobbit, ready and waiting to get this trade locked in. Magix has still managed to get pretty deep, but it's a false sense of security. Hobbit swings out late and even retrieves that AWP. Gambit continue to put up this very, very competitive T side without much standing in their way from Team Spirit.
Yeah, even though Spirit again had the read, right? Like early that looked a bit scary for Spirit with Gambit going back up to A, but the silence is telling enough for Spirit. They go, surely this is an A end, right? With no one outside Monster. Mir gets a bit of a peek into B water, and that's enough info for Spirit to make the risky call. It doesn't matter. They just can't hold on to the bomb site right now, no matter how many players. And Gambit just proven to be quite the foe, quite the opponent. Set towards Monster again. Is this going to be another contact play? Shiro's at least got a flash this time around. There's a heavy barrel setup. No molly for it. Dexter not blinded though behind the pillar, and he can pick up kills left, right, and center. Can't find the second, but Magic's trades, not used to that one. It's going to be Inters dropping the Molotov as well to force him out of position, and Sunday Young comes down connector, clearing Hobbit. Things are looking better for Spirit already. 2-on-4 for Gambit though. Never count them out of rounds like this. They're going to reset and wait for aggression, wait for Spirit to give them something. But already peeling back towards A is Chopper, and Samdai Young isn't far from it.
Yeah, Shiro is still hanging around at B with the bomb, but he decides to go back and rejoin Inters over here at A. Gambit, they do have like 2v2s at either bomb site, right? So there is still a chance that this round gets out of hand. Samdai Young going up through the long toilets, and Shiro has seen him. Now Inters turns back to go and deal with this man in the toilet, and he's just waiting. He knows that this kill is going to come his way eventually. Samdai Young's about to get blindsided, and now this A bomb site, oh dear, the rotations are having to come through for Team Spirit. Chopper, one man against it all for the time being, as they're moving up through CT, and he just wants to stay alive. He just wants to buy time. Smoke down at Dumpster. Inter's given a little more room to work with, but there's the swing onto Shiro. And with only 7 seconds left, Chopper navigates that one to perfection.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the big brains of CIS, right? This is a guy who's been around for years. He's made those major runs. We've seen him in Vegas Squadron leading by example, and really great patience on that 1v2 on the site, right? His teammates cut off by utility. No one knows where he is, and he just swings off the back of Shiro throwing utility. Perfect round for Chopper. And a great bit of experience shining through on this A site, finding Spirit Force, still a salvageable half. They're yet to break through the bulging bank of Gambit that has been here all half long, but no time like the present. 3 rounds left on the half, and Gambit, with a quick timeout, come back into play. What will this break have led them to believe? Where will they go? Got to be scared a little bit if you're Spirit, right? You're having to really work hard for these rounds right now. Gambit are giving you nothing for free. They are really sweating every 1vx, every 2vx. And that's when they're down men, which is not often. Monster smoke down for Chopper early. Have that mid molly once more for Spirit, but Gambit looking at a faster round towards B. Oh, I love that smoke as well. We started seeing like Na'Vi throw that as of recent. Throwing the mid smoke from T-spawn on a layup means you can put out the mid molly. You can show that mid control without having anyone there. That smoke is thrown from spawn by Gambit, so Spirit still keep 2 players on A. They don't know what lurks behind.
Yeah, and in reality, this B push is coming in. Nafani does not fare well once again. Shut down on the short rush. And so it's down to just Shiro immediately in the 1v4 now as he nails that first shot. Often comes alive in the clutches, but a lot of angles to keep an eye on. Shiro, they are all around him. Look at that mini-map. It's one little red mark in a sea of blue. Shiro looking for any way out of this round. Flashes in, there's the peek from Con, and Samdai Young just shuts him out. Doesn't give him a chance to navigate that in the clutch. And 5 now on the board for Spirit. Chopper looking real clean down here towards B. He's going to have to, right? Especially with Magic's having a bit of a slow start. You need someone to step up and fill that void. Right now, Chopper looks like the man.
Yeah, good cover as well. We've seen 2 rounds now of this T-side. Gambit have done that exact move where they run out short and they try and clear Monster first. Not looking at Pit, not looking at Heaven, not looking at CT. And it did work earlier in the half, but now Spirit have cottoned onto it. Now they've started playing Graffiti. And in 2 rounds, Chopper or a player there has put up defensive kills, stopping those Monster players from dying.
Oh, Mir with the spray. And now Magic's joining in as well. Trying to pad his stats. The flashes go over, but Magic's knocks them all down with it. 6 on the board for Team Spirit. The fast speed play that time doesn't work for Gambit, and we're on our way to a very competitive half after all. Considering, you know, this was 8-3 in favor of Gambit, Spirit will take a 7-round half if that's what they're able to get.
Yeah, things are getting close, a little more exciting. No double up needed for Spirit. Definitely the right call right now. Like, you know, Dexter can do everything you need, and we know those CT orbs can be very mobile on this map, very quick with rotate, so he's all over the place, really. Smoke thrown manually this time by Gambit. They are out in middle, but this is a default to start this last round of the half. Players on all parts of the map. You'll see how tucked Hobbit is in connector as well. He's on a bit of a lurk, waiting for anyone to aggress. He's not going to clear Con. He's rather going to wait for his mid players to get in position to help him. We've seen double Con setups in the past already, so Gambit don't want to be burned by that. And with the door naded off by Spirit on short, that's exactly to stop the Con walk. Right, so many angles to clear, boosts that can see you while you can't see them. It's not the angle Hobbit wants to walk through. So he waits as Nafani goes through the smoke, finding Samdai Young on a pick. What a start. Oh, that's clean.
Man, and now you're thinking about rotating players up, and that is exactly what Gambit wanted Team Spirit to do. The B play is where this is really hoping to end out, and Hobbit holding on to connector is only good for one. Magic's now realizes, but it's far too late. Orped by Shiro on the cross back into B, and Chopper, man, he's having to live up to his name, just flying around the map right now. Axile's already hidden in deep though. Chopper, will he clear the close angle? If he doesn't, he's a dead man, and there it is, 9-6 at the end of that first half. Gambit with the lead under their belts on their map pick. Can they keep it going heading into this second half of play?
2021, and Dupree still a threat to all of the young up-and-comers. Dexter, speaking of young up-and-comers, he jumps over his head! Oh, and Glaive gets Mir! He might even find him! Oh, scopes him through the smoke! I'm losing my mind! And Dexter, he wants more! And he takes it by force! Zipex, next victim on the plate. Dexter solving the riddle. He knows you're in there, and he puts the barrel in the belly! Two behind the smoke. Bomb still loose. Glaive's actually just waiting to deny the plant if there is one. Great angle. Go on, Dexter, anymore? Looks like it's just Dexter. He'd need an ace clutch to write history on the 16-0. Doesn't look like Astralis are going to go down too easy. Taps on one. They are defusing. Magiska's on it. Half defused. Needs a weapon. Finds a Glock. Finds Glaive. 2 seconds. No! He's off it now! No way! Not the ace clutch!
Panicking.
Okay. Okay.
Team Spirit, of course, surprised me a lot. They just got Dexter, and they played like 1 month, and they're already showing like huge performance. So they surprised me, to be honest. And the second team is it's gonna be Liquid. They just changed their IGL, and they're already on the semi-final. Of course, it's like, you know, it's like dream to change your team, to change your IGL, and to be on the semi-final in 1 month. It's interesting. The teams like Astralis and Navi practicing a lot, doing their stuff and fixing mistakes and blah blah blah, doing a lot of job. And the teams like Liquid and Spirit switching players, switching IGLs, and coming to semi-final. Interesting.
And we're back. Gambit 9-6 up, leading the charge as old friends turn enemies here in this semi-final. Gambit with a pretty damn good T-side half under their belts, now moving into the CT side. Team Spirit, it took them a while to warm up into that game there. And now we're ready to head into the fray. Team Spirit, they would love a pistol round in a situation like this. Anything to help you close this gap and get closer to Gambit.
Hit double flash for Nafany, but a good bit of utility for Spirit, at least out of the gate. They're going to drop Con, going quick as well. Nade to mid, but Axel isn't deterred, and he's going to hold on to this info, seeing no one get out through middle. Might be a bit of a ruse, he says to his team, as Gambit keep the B hold strong. And that might be the right call after all. Mir's selling a bit of a fake down lower. Up connected, they crawl, and Spirit, they're showing presence all over the map, but not making it clear where their destination lies. And his contact. Gambit have gone back to long. They have no information right now. They only see Mir outside of B selling this fake. And this could be a nice sneaky little play into the A site for Spirit, right? The USPs are going to be dangerous, but there's only one of them here. Nafany's come back down. They're going to have to play retake here, being Gambit, as Spirit speed into A.
Oh, Axel sees them getting closer, but the flashes actually blind some Young. Oh no, that flashbang has just ruined this pistol round. Axel dead. Well, not dead, rather, putting up kills. It's Mir desperately fighting for his life, but he's surrounded. Gambit, they put 10 up on the board. And that flashbang from Chopper, while it did blind the players in the site, some Young also caught by it, caught in the crossfire.
Yeah, Nafany moving through that smoke as well. I love that move, right? He rotates out of the site early. It's only Axel there, and even though he's flashed off as well, right through the smoke, onto the truck, in with a double, and Nafany provides a good bit of cover, waiting for that flash to, you know, fade in the face of Axel. So, good stuff for Gambit. And I say that needs to be a retake. Well, Spirit don't even get onto the bomb site. That should never be happening. They made a contact play so close. Gambit don't even need the info. 10-6. Deagle's out, a force on the T side. It's very CIS, but is it going to be the right answer? All it could do is dig that economical hole deeper at a point like this, and Gambit, they need no more help getting rounds. Could be a 12-6 before we see a gun round for Spirit here. So pressure's on to make these Deagles worth their weight. Again, just very split up, hoping for these 1D. Shiro, 5 and 6. Not having a bad game, just not really seeing anyone, not really needing to. He's been holding his own in the positions that we want, but no clutches needed for Gambit. The scroll wheel for Axel, that is unfortunate. Flies to the sky and Chopper puts him down a few, and now Spirit going to group. They've got the man advantage. They know that Gambit are going to split 2-2 in a position like this, and that's exactly what they've done. Hobbit is spotting towards Monster. He will have that information ahead of time, and there's no utility other than the smoke that Mir cannot throw due to his position. It's just going to have to be a barrage, a chase into B. Hobbit with a flash, and he might be able to mow them all down.
Oh, the flash though dodged by Dexter as the first man in. Magic's deking out another. A man down now, Gambit looking for anything to spur them on into this retake, and they don't catch Chopper on the cross. The molly is going to tag him down. Does just about survive, and Shiro left in the clutch, but we know what this guy's like. Tagged on that first peak, and is that going to deter Shiro? He writes this round off. He gets the hell out of there. Might have all been doable if it weren't for Samdai Young tagging him down to 9 HP. Especially with that Molotov. So nearly killing Chopper. I think if that Molotov even went down half a second earlier, that is a very winnable round for Shiro.
It's a big win for Spirit though, right? Like, they saved themselves from the economical deficit, from the potential double scoreline that Gambit would have had before we have a gun round. And at that point, you're really hoping for things to go wrong for Gambit. What they have now, Spirit flipping the economy on its head, and I'm sure Gambit, who already saved a gun, will be interested in keeping this war going, forcing up once again on the CT side. But it's just so much harder to get things done, right? Even though the CT side certainly favored in a sense, like now the money is out of control for Spirit. Now they've got multiple AKs, and for Gambit, they are just looking for scraps, deagles, Famases, desperate times.
I think it's worth mentioning as well the recovery that we've seen out of Magic's, right? He was down 0-7 at one point, well now 10-12. So since then, you know, going 10-5, that's a nice recovery. Up until then, Team Spirit, it felt like they were just a man down. He couldn't find his footing. Now building up a little more confidence is the young gun on Team Spirit. You were right, Hugo, as well. The Force by Wars is set to continue. Gambit aggressing over here at short.
Whoa.
Mir spam to a door, taken out of the round. And Magix is caught admiring the spam. Hobbit blindsides him on the short play. And Samdai Young knows he has to try and trade that out, so he will. At this point, Gambit is stacking heavy towards B, right? This is now the third player they've seen outside the B bomb site. It's not leaving much to the imagination.
I love that little jump from Samdai Young, right? If you stand in these tunnels on one edge of it and you jump, you're going to be like flung to the other side. People do it to clear Monster all the time. Oh, Chopper caught on short. And now this B play is more obvious than ever. Everyone is looking at the Monster position. Samdai Young double dinking with the SMG, and Dex has found another. They know the Shiro was on short, so they smoke him off and try and get this plant in, but not a lot of spots that can be covered from the short span and still not open to heaven. Axel is coming from that position, and he's dropped the bomb as well with another tag. Samdai Young is low, and Shiro's just waiting for his chance to go through the smoke. He's not needed. It's the Force by War found once again by Gambit as they bite right back. I did not think they were going to be able to pick that one up, but great trading up on short, right? Mir with a spam, dies just without seeing his opponent, and Hobbit even aggresses off the back of that with a perfect timing. Like, Gambit is so in sync, so reactive. And Spirit, well, tempting once again to keep it going, but with every Force by War that comes on, it gets harder and harder for you to keep it up.
Yeah, Samdai Young is at least up onto an AK as a result of getting away with so many MP9 kills. His money was good. Other than that, everyone else is on pistol armor. So this Force by not up to scratch when you think about what Gambit were able to bring into the round prior. Chopper fast out through middle. Nobody here to keep him in check, keep him in line, and he gets pretty deep. There is still a com player in the form of Hobbit. Magic needs to clear this close angle, and it can all come down to timings. Hobbit hits a favorable one on the swing, and even then sees players over at short. So once again, the alarm bells are ringing for Gambit, anticipating a B play, but this maybe gives Chopper that much more room to work his magic over here at long. Getting deep. Axal is considering the possibility that there could be a long player, right? No one's been keeping an eye on this side of the map, and so he's repositioned at the perfect timing to worry about this long corner. Chopper, if this came a few seconds earlier, he probably gets Axal there, but remaining patient, waiting for his team to get a little bit closer, proves to be his downfall.
Yeah, Hobbit thinks he has a good timing there, and the reason is how deep Chopper is, but Spirit is so late out mid at the 30-second mark. He was hoping to backstab. Instead, he sees them coming up, and now in turn notices them going down. 10 seconds to plant, almost insurmountable odds, and without the entry, there's no hope in hell here for Team Spirit. Gambit bite right back, and they take a 12th, finally putting a rest to these constant rebuys that we've seen on either side, and now we look at the result of that, right? If Spirit just, lost their first rifle or lost their first force round, it would have been 12-6 before they buy. But now it's going to be 13-7. Not really much better if you, consider the fact that Gambit are now one step closer to their map pick being taken. And Spirit have to full eco. There's no ifs and buts about it. More money, more rounds, and more confidence for Gambit. Not that they need either of the three. And that nade short again just puts a bit of fear in a connector player while Shiro tucks in. Also, Nafany continuing to jump spot, considering Hobbit has short, well, his back is covered, and Nafany can come to Shiro when and how to play aggressive. No need, though. Spirit have up and left the connector. They're going to group monster. This is a near impossible round to even make interesting, so charging 5 players out to a choke point is probably your best bet.
Oh, in they go, like lambs to the slaughter. Inters ready and waiting to pad these stats up a little bit. Him and Hobbit just laying waste to the B play, and it never even gets close. Gambit up to 13, and now we've got that buy round coming in. But if this one doesn't find success for Team Spirit, that could be the end of this map. All neatly tied up by this Gambit squad.
But they've been waiting for this gun round all half long, right? And we're 6 rounds deep, so they certainly have something to show us. Sumdai Young, he does have something to show us. That's a P90. Not the most standard bar when you're down 13-7.
All right, hey, Sumdai Young, you've got my attention now.
I'll watch it before I judge it.
What's he thinking of doing?
B-rush?
What's this mental guy going to try and do? Oh, here he is.
He's smiling on the face cam. He knows what he's got. Oh.
Can he paint us a pretty picture? Can he do his artwork here on the push up through short? Caught by Con, and the P90 never gets anything done. Shiro still here, holding this crossfire, and he absolutely dismantles the B play. In with a third as well, and Shiro, the B side belongs to him. 14-7, the money now gone again for Team Spirit. We needed some kind of result in that round there, and all they get for that entire investment is 1 kill on Hobbit.
Nafany is in their scrapbook, and he's peeling out photos right now, Harry. This guy knows what's going on. Gambit could not have been set up better for a short B play if they tried. Jump spotting Nafany, Shiro AWPing close, Hobbit in the connector watching with the door blown off. Like, they were just ready for that. There's no way Spirit were going to win that round with the setup from Gambit, and now they're down and onto
guys,
pistols.
Do it again, and maybe this time they're not so ready for it.
Surely not twice in a row, right? And at least no one's in con this time, but that could change. Flash is over, fast in they go, but that's actually after or before the flash, rather. Hopping in quad. Still blinded, still successful, and still turning on a dime to find the third. He can't do it. Chopper doubles up and will be able to grab himself an AK. Can he plant in time? These rotates are taking exactly that. And Gambit know that Spirit could be deep as well, but Spirit are still scared of short. They're looking the wrong way. They don't know. They're so fearful of the connector, which has been played every round of this half. And in the one round it's not, Gambit creep into success.
Oh, yeah. Chopper cancelled out. Dexter trying to live up to the Shiro clutch minister on the other side. 1v2. Tucked in over here towards water. There's that first peek in. Shiro deleted. Axile not able to stand the test of time either, as Dexter saves the day. 8 on the board for Team Spirit. And it's thanks to that man in the 1v2 that they're even still afloat over on this T side.
I'm glad we have some show of clutches, some show of face for Spirit as well, up in the face of adversity, right? This is the team that's seen one Destralis, for crying out loud. For Gambit to make the mincemeat would be quite the victory. And so Spirit, at least holding on in this game, but it's going to be one hell of a comeback if they can perform it. And I'll believe it when I see it. Gambit have had some great reads, some great calls, and the individuals are showing up as well. Oh my, Spirit. Well, they've got the orb, right? They salvage their money. They stay above water. But for how long?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest problems you have with Gambit is the calling for them this event has just been incredible. Like in that matchup versus Na'Vi yesterday, they were able to change decisions like on the fly, right? It felt like they would have a game plan, and the moment Na'Vi felt like they found a hole in the Gambit game plan, well, it was patched up like the next round. You know, like you can't keep exploiting something against these guys. We've got the boost going on here.
Yeah, they did it wrong.
They didn't have enough players either.
They didn't have someone on the fence to boost the orb. Yeah. Well, they had other ideas in mind.
Oh, there we go.
All calculated, all to perfect. No question about it. And now Sundayo's going, yeah, that's why I didn't go on the boost. Look at me, finding an opener. And, well, it was worth it, but what would they do with it? When Gambit got B picks on the T side, they would be, you know, either rushing straight in off the back of that, you can't really do it with a nade like that, or they'd be full resetting in grouping A, and that's seemingly what Spirit are doing with some of their players. Falling on the bench makes noise. Axel hears that, and he creeps through the smoke, but Chopper's watching it. It doesn't matter. Axel gets the kill. Chopper was blinded from Dexter down at B. Oh, we've seen that from time to time from Spirit, and it's not what they need. Back to B they go, but Gambit have not shuffled any rotates around, with mid being their domain still. Shiro's here with the AWP as well.
Yeah, it's scary, right? They actually just brought Shiro down from the A bomb site. So even though you killed Nafany here earlier on, there's still 3 stacked up in B for Gambit. Oh. Inters might fall at the first hurdle, but with Hobbit and Shiro here, you've still got capable hands left to try and maneuver this round. Hobbit got off the 1, and so Shiro, ooh, it's close. Dexter actually killing here, and the nade rains in from heaven. Axile onto 15. Oh, it's a disaster. The TK to get the trade. It's still, I mean, Shiro takes those, right? It's 2 for 1 in his favor.
That was a mess in every way. And somehow Gambit win it. That makes the team kill the worst case scenario. It might not have mattered if Spirit won the round, but shooting your teammate in the back of the head and look at the cost. Oh, you can't even blame him. That's a lineup. That looked there. And then swinging in at the last second. And now Gambit have 15. Axel with a 1v2 as quick as they come. And Spirit, well, talking fast, they've got something up their sleeve.
Yeah, quick into B. It's been a bit of a hit and miss strategy for them. They try to wrap Hobbit and they deal with him, but the spam is still coming in. Gambit, they're looking to take this one over the line right here, right now. Just Chopper left and up against the world. 1v3 down into short side. Axel removed. And now he's given a lot more room to play around with. Does have that bomb still on his back and a 1v2 left to find. Nafany going aggressive in the monster tunnel. Does this give the kill over? Yes, it does. And now it's the 1v1. Shiro on the other side. Is this where he puts a game-winning clutch up on the tally? Or is the game set to trickle on? Shiro also aggressing in the monster tunnel. Chopper hasn't moved, hasn't skipped a beat. He's still worried about it. Shiro deep on the angle, but Chopper closes it out. 4 in the round and a 1v3 for Chopper to keep Team Spirit in this.
Oh, that is huge. And Gambit played it pretty well as well. So Chopper's got to be very happy about that. The escape out short, he does so much damage to one of the players on the site and doesn't even try and finish it. Chases Axel on the con rotate. He knows that Gambit have, you know, foaming at the mouth. They're ready to close the map. They're at a 3-on-1 and he uses that to his advantage very well. Gambit lost opportunity perhaps. And while they have many more, we don't want this game to get too close. It's one flash on Hobbit and another on Axel. They're going to try and aggress with these, I presume, through the monster tunnel. There it goes. And here come Gambit. Straight through the smoke. Sunday Young. Oh, the bullets just get churned up into their opponents. And even though the metal eats some of the punch, it doesn't matter. Dexter's there with a pistol and Spirit. That was only going to ever be their round. But it might have to be one more before Gambit can rebuy. Spirit winning that clutch has really dug them out of a pickle here. It's going to be 15-11, I presume, before Gambit have guns. And at that point, 4-round comeback into OT, certainly not undoable.
Oh, especially with another eco for Gambit. I do like the decision though, right? Instead of trying to, you know, like cobble buys together where maybe there isn't money to do so, you keep it nice and light, knowing that you've still got room to play with. And, you know, while you can always look to buy guns, you can't buy more time in this game. And so they play it safe. This B play's coming in. The nades stack, looking to do damage, doesn't find anything. This is only pistols that Team Spirit are up against, and it's still a 3-on-3. Sumdai Young is very, very low as well. The double push out through the water, luckily enough, gives you an in. And that is Team Spirit onto 11. They get that round past Gambit, closing the gap more and more. Gambit put a lot of faith in this buy round. They really set themselves up to have everything they could possibly need. And so this is where Gambit are hoping to close this game out.
And this is where the calling gets really hard, because if you're Spirit, what have you actually done this half? Rushed B. That's pretty much it. Like, we haven't seen many successful A takes. Their contact plays up short have been denied. They haven't even touched long either. So, you know, you've only got the mid, the B play to rely on. There's that smoke that we see for the Molotov. It actually comes in early, though. The timing is bad. It will bloom, at least. Looked like it was going to bounce over. But, ooh, it got scary for a second. Spirit get out mid at least, and they're not running the gun towards B in such an important round. Shiro with the AWP as well, sat back towards A long. Hoping they finally come his way, and they may. Chopper's looking at that position. Shiro even goes one step further, but without anyone in the toilets, this is a very dangerous spot to be, and you are committed, and you can get cleared from both sides. Shiro's got to pick one, and he's chosen long, rightly so. Flashes are up, and these T's start to move in very loud as well. Can Shiro realistically escape, or is he going to have to turn on a dime and get these 180s?
Shiro is really threading the needle with this position, right? You're bang on. Either he manages to elude capture from all these Team Spirit players that are closing in, or he gets blindsided. Nobody's checked the toilets instead. They're boosted up on long. Shiro, oh, he hears the drop down. Chopper is just offered up for free on a silver platter, and Shiro lives to tell the tale. They trade 1-for-1 down in B, but it's still to the advantage of Gambit, to the dismay of Team Spirit. And an early rotation into this B bomb site from Axile, leaving Shiro to anchor A alone. It's a 3-on-3 B play for Team Spirit. They sneak in, they get under the crosshair of Inters. He doesn't realize that they're in so deep. There he is with the trade at least. And now 2 down in water. Is this something that Team Spirit are ready for? Sumdai Young gives that kill away, and it's all left on to Dexter to try to step up in the clutch. Very little time, and he can't get the kills. Gambit, they take their map pick, 16-11. They put it all on the back of one buy round, and it finds them success.
To be myself, so when I went and found myself, the ones who told me back then, be true to who I am, ain't think we was really gonna win. Now they watching us from the sidelines while we trying to victories like we getting high tides. I'm not getting my prize, only thing my eyes is locked in on, have a milli mine. I want it right now, don't waste my time. Family in a penthouse with a view sky high, blood, sweat, and tears bring water to my eyes, cause the whole gang winning. I done gave my life, odds low, but we did it angry, and we always moving, never on the same thing. Now our lives are highlight reel, we like the thrill, this life's
the things that make Gambit a scary team, that's the structure. They always believe in what they're doing. They execute rounds from the start, things like that, and they never leave their plan.
Turn the finally goes, and it's all on Hobbit. Back turn towards the next player in the corner, gets that frag, no smoke for the defuse, grabs that AWP instead, taps that bomb, looks towards mid position, Stan gives him a shoulder, but no more than that, second phase, not gonna get the kill, Hobbit lands it! Channel is in at overpass to try and bring this round back, get that first, and that second, 10 seconds remaining total, Nade past the keeper, he's gonna walk right into it, Hobbit! 4 kills!
Finally get one from Hobbit. Oh, if he'd been here a second earlier. There's the duck, there's the spam, now Hobbit knows. And he's got the time and he's got the clutch. Aminek's still all the way down by the ramp, so he can't really be that helpful here. That's a huge shot to hit. Hobbit's going to play close up around the smoke. He will now set up a flashbang for his teammates. Hobbit dodges it, and he gets one, he gets two. He's looking for more. He might just have it, and he does. That should shut down the round.
Hey Future Pros, you know what I hate? T's taking top banana control. Let's solve that with this smoke and incendiary combo. To do this retake nade set, hop up onto the close first orange boxes. Look down and line up your crosshair with this section of the hinge of the barrel. Then aim at the point where the roof meets the wall of the distant building. Then throw the smoke. The smoke will land at the half wall at the top of banana. Then pull out your incendiary. Aim at this section of the cracked pane, then instantly running throw. This molly will land just in front of your smoke. This combo will push back any T's lingering around the top of banana, but also possibly isolate a player away from their team, so be ready for a close fight. I hope this helps you Inferno B players out there, as it can get pretty rough sometimes.
Well, Gambit whip it out here on Overpass, and they've got so much to show. This is a W for them, at least in this semifinal. They're making the first steps, and the first steps of progression on into the grand final. They're going to have another map in front of them. We're looking at Inferno next, but for the time being, Overpass is done and dusted. Hobbit and Axile getting it done, and for us, we're going to begin to wrap our heads around it. Guys, this started out slow, showed a little bit of life out of the Spirit side later in the game, but it fell short, and why?
I think it was exactly how we thought it's going to be. Gambit was in control of that map since the beginning. You know, on T side especially, their defaults were working out. They were giving them openings. Once we get openings on a default on overpass, you get to control rotations, and it's all about the closing out the round after that one.
You can just see a very high level from them on the map, a very good understanding. I mean, I like the fact that they opened with the exact same pistol round on the T side like they did against Navi. Shiro getting the entry kill on Magis just like he did on Flamey yesterday, so that must have been nice for them. But also just some things, for example, towards the B bomb set, you know, they had different types of plays, an explosion play, right, just a flash and a smoke. One time they just swung without anything, right, and these teams do this, like, who understand, like, they get a read on the setup, and sometimes that's the best counter, and they were close to winning that round. They lost it, but it just, like, they mix it up so much that it's very hard to get a read on them.
Sneaks around middle, then explodes on B, and everything was working out.
And, you know, I want to look at round 7 with you, Yanko. I know you've prepared something for it.
Yeah, this was an important one, because actually, this is one of those swing rounds. Whoever wins it, the Gambit money was really low, so let's just see. I sped it up here first with the overview, just so you guys can see how they opened up. So Spirit did try to do different things. Right here, you can see they opened up with 4 guys towards the B bomb site. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, we just have Axel here throwing his nades towards B, and Gambit is opening with basically a 5A default. This is the standard stuff that they do, just throwing a Molotov here for short. And also, like, usually sometimes they would smoke this, but now he wants to save his smoke. He just flashed over, so kind of they're faking that they want to go for water control here, while they're actually just focusing mostly towards that A side of the map. And you can see the reaction from Spirit, which is fairly fast and pretty good. They're trying to take control of water, which is a super important part of the map, and they get the information that, you know, none of the Gambit players are really there, which allows them to start rotating towards the A bomb site. Unfortunately for them, like, as we can see, they have 2 players here, Dexter, and I'm not sure who the other player was, but basically, like, from that point on, once we switch to this POV, you will see, like, they have players rotating back towards the A bomb site. Dexter and Samdayang are posted up, and now this like a bit of a weird movement from Dexter pushing onto the side. Axel is gonna hit an insane shot on him with the Deagle, and we can see Magisk also here. He got blind by the flashes from long and just ran into the molly full blind, and by the time the flash passed, he was very low in HP, couldn't get out of it, and they just dropped 2 kills there. They get Sam Dayang in toilets as well. They get the kill on him, and you know, even though Spirit had the information, they were basically rotating 4 players to that side. They still couldn't coordinate themselves well enough, and that's something Kasad talked about in a sense of, you know, it's just not really natural for someone, you know, when you're not that good on a map. Like, it seems like very simple, but maybe the communication isn't there. They don't have a setup in place for that sort of a situation, and you can see it just looked like wrong in all different ways, and that was a chance for them to kind of, you know, force Gambit to go on an eco, get some breathing room, but it just fell apart.
And you know, for Gambit, I'm looking at you, Kasad, real quickly before we start to, you know, go to the break. We talk about Inferno next, but I'm looking at Gambit and I'm thinking, okay, they're in full control.
They must feel good right now. You know, when you win your opening pick as a map number 1 is your pick, and you win it like this, relatively convincingly, you go super hyped, super happy. Like, the Spirit is like, oh, I'm not well, Spirit. He's all the way like up, you know.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. And you know they're gonna come into rolling into the CT side of Inferno, I presume. You know, not the favorite side. I mean, in general, the favorite side of the map, but I don't know for them because it's their weakest map. But they should be happy. They should be confident. It's just what about Spirit and what they had prepared.
I mean, we're looking at potentially putting our first grand finalist in that slot in the brackets, but we're not even going to get remotely close until we finish Inferno. Is this going to be where Gambit cements themselves as grand finalists? We're going to find out if Spirit can battle back right after this break, everybody.
You ready? Huh? Hey, he's a good boy, huh? You ready? Huh?
Start your esports career now at play.eslgaming.com.
My name is Jordan Gilbert, aka Nothing.
Hi, my name is Sue Lee. My handle is Smix. I think it's important for these initiatives to happen. Empathy really, really goes a long way, and it always means so much to us, and I think that's where initiatives like this really help.
I encourage everyone in the community, anytime they see bullying, anytime they see someone getting called names, I encourage you to step up and say something.
Good luck, have fun.
Good luck, have fun.
When we played against them specifically, I don't think we had any issue with the game style. We were really ready to play that game. We played train first. We lost it 16-14, and we, on our side, it's always easy to say, but we felt ready, and I think we didn't manage to do our job on City side, on the defense. We knew they could hit B. They went a few times where we were actually 3 guys there, and just doing the job on these key rounds would have most likely go our way. So that was just that game that could have gone either way, I would say. And we won really comfortably on Mirage, 16-8, so I think we were actually fine. And Inferno at the end, that's just like, not just Spirit, but us in general. Our map pool is not the best at the moment. It was a 16-10 for them. Our T-side was quite poor. But I mean, playstyle-wise, nothing special. They were just really on point with what they were doing, but we were not like surprised or catch off guard, most likely. They are just confident. They do what they know and they commit to it. So no, not real big issue, just they hit their shots, and I think we are not really ready, so basically they punished and won, so that's how I feel really about that specific matchup.
Intel Extreme Masters Katowice is brought to you in part by Intel, Acer Predator, GG.BET, PaySafeCard, and DHL.
We've got 1,000 miles of luck. We don't look down because obviously we made it. Our feet really aren't that far off the pavement. Of course, for Gambit, they're even closer to that ever-coveted finish line within this series. The semifinals still on the cards. They still need to make it into the grand finals. One map, though, guys. Inferno.
Yeah, a bit of a similar scenario to yesterday, where they won their opening map as well, and then just rolled with that momentum to win their opponent's pick and just close it out 2-0. And I think that's the talking point here. Like, sure, Spirit is a big favorite, but you know, Gambit is 1-0 up. They can play a bit more relaxed. They can be a bit more loose, and I think that's what I liked the most from them yesterday was their approach on the CT side, on their game plan. I want to see, because they will start on that side, with whether we will see the same thing like we did yesterday. If they can repeat that, they can close it out 2-0.
The thing is, like, for me, Spirit like surely feels pressure right now. Semifinals, Katowice, you know, big event.
Domestic matchup.
Yeah, domestic matchup. The pressure is right there. You know, are they feeling super good on Inferno so they can just like forget about all of this stuff, or they can just like, or they will like fall under pressure and then lose 2-0. I want to see from Gambit what are they going to show on the CT side, because when I watched their demos, and I watched quite a few of them, I didn't see that much, to be honest.
So it's going to be a real question here if there's a bounce back for Spirit in the second map, which is what we've got our eyes on. And also our eyes on our commentators. Thank you, Yanko and Kassad. Don't run away, though, of course. I don't want you to leave. I do want to bring in Harry and Hugo, who happen to be over there on that little island known as the UK. Guys, how are we feeling? Harry's got a tie on.
Yeah, man, I've really pushed the boat out. I never wear suits for anything, but Katowice, it takes a special place in my heart and in my wardrobe, apparently. I'm really looking forward to this, man. I want to see Spirit bounce back, because I think they've delivered so much throughout this entire event so far, that to see them go out 2-0 just wouldn't sit right with me.
No, not at all. And they know that more than anyone. They're going to be fighting tooth and nail on their home map. And they have had success on this as of late. So even though Gambit looking a little bit terrifying right now, Spirit, they took them down back at DreamHack on this one, 16-6. They've got the trophy in the pocket, so to say. So let's see if they can put their money where their mouth is and make this one hell of a series, a 3-map semi-final perhaps. But Gambit, they want to close it quick and clean like they did against Na'Vi yesterday. We're right into things. Gambit CT side start. Kassad says they don't have much to show. Well, have they done their homework coming into today's match?
Look at Nafany with the dual Berettas. Let's see what he's going to get away with these. We've seen Keto deliver with the dual Berettas at Banana before. And Nafany following those footsteps. There's the peak flashed in for it. More ammo where that came from, and more pain, more lead put down range by those dual Berettas. Man advantage taken early on. Gambit sat in a 4-on-5, or sorry, 5-on-4 rather, on this defending side. Team Spirit grouping up for a last-ditch attempt to hit the A-bomb site. Shiro not moving a muscle, and Axel with this crossfire between him down in the pit. It's a bit of a nasty hold here that Team Spirit is struggling to navigate. Chopper is trapped in the graveyard, and this might be his final resting place there as Shiro looks to bring the round to a close. It's another pistol found for Gambit. They've gotten all of them away in the series so far, at least, you know, found 4 spy victories. So looking to keep these conversions ticking over.
I'm just loving the tempo of Gambit. It is like watching like figure skating, man. They just dance around the boxes. They don't overpeak. They wait for their teammates to face with them. The comms are great. Everyone's feeling comfortable. And as I said, maybe they have like a bit of, a bit of breathing room. They can be a bit more chilled out on this map, considering they're up 1 in the series. They have this pocket pick here. So, you know, we saw dual Berettas. Maybe that's a sign of things to come for Gambit, but already a strong start in Spirit. They were relying on the force by walls back on Overpass. This time they're not in the same case. They don't have to force. They can play this Glock round, get it done and dusted, and come back in with guns. But this one will not be good for them by any means of the word. It's a quick, clean cleanup on long, and no casualties for Gambit. That will not be changing today. Chopper just trying to bleed what he can from the round, but it's a 2-0 lead, and the guns coming in for Spirit.
I know a lot of people from watching Gambit, you know, looking so red hot are getting like PGL Major Krakow vibes, right? And you know, Gambit scored in Poland, they've done it once before, right? They're looking to do it again. I want to say that if Gambit managed to take this event, I want a remake of Ladder Sedan, but with these players, you know, because that was great when they released that music video and then they went on to win the major. It's like, yeah, all right. Well, this time they can do it in like the inverse way round. Win Katowice, drop a music video.
What a timeline we're living in.
Mir up through the banana, gets here early on. Nice response, right? The little nade battle that takes place over here at Banana, spreading damage for either side.
I think that's going to be huge as well, right? Like, who's winning out this Banana battle? Who's winning the utility fight? Like, Gambit, they brought it to Astralis in some rounds up on the T side of this map.
Did you just see what Axel gets away with? He wallbangs Chopper through the door to 28, and then wallbangs Magix in the apartments down to 43. So that's a lot of damage without even seeing an opponent yet. Team Spirit tests the waters at B, and they're at least left in a 4-on-4, but Shiro will take that trade, because look at the HP that's left on Team Spirit. 2 of these players were naded up over towards the Banana side. The other 2 tagged in the apartments, and Shiro has just caught players crossing. You don't want to find yourself in this guy's crosshair. Chopper crosses back, and that's not information that Shiro has, so there is still the potential that you go B at this point in time.
Yeah, this is a weird one as well, but they're actually just rerouting on A. Gambit is scared of long. They have no need to be, and now they know. Now they've dropped one. The bomb follows, and Chopper trades, but it's all too late. Bomb is so far away, and Inters just swings from the pit. That bonus round for Gambit. SMGs, and look at the upgrades. They find 2 AKs alongside their AWP. And what a start, man. Shiro coming in with the perfect rotate to not just get the info that, you know, for a second looked like he could have cost Gambit with Chopper backing up in a good timing, but Shiro sees 2 players. He kills one of them, he stays alive. And that's, you know, more than enough considering he would have just been left on B doing nothing. With Bomb found in the apartments like that, yeah, Chopper, he needs all the kills. He can't even think about the plant. And already Gambit off to a strong start. Spirit may have had things to show the other day on this map, but home map or not, Gambit are feeling the game right now. 8's down Banana, and Spirit don't have the utility to contest this, right? They have to surrender, they have to give it away, but they can flash through the smoke, which is a bit common. No flash, just running on through, and Nafany will give them some respect, conceding the position as a late flashbang comes in. So Spirit have something, but Gambit, they want to make this costly. They want to fight for every bit of real estate, and they will. Hobbit here, holding the corner, only good for 1. Nafany very wide as well. He's in for a penny, in for a pound. If he dies here, the B site could be lost, so he gets aggressive and he takes 1, stalling for a second. The flash, oh, it's a team flash, it whites him, but he still escapes through their own smoke. Shiro here to provide some cover, and Spirit may have picked up a gun, but they haven't taken any more kills than 1.
Yeah, he's still tucked away in the back of the site as Nafany, right? Team Spirit, they don't even have site control yet. The rotations are coming in. These smokes are starting to fade. And with it, that little veil of security that Spirit had is out the window. Nafany will lock in a 4th round for Gambit, as it's another clean one, right? Only losing Hobbit in the fray.
such a dangerous setup to play both players in one and done spots. Like, you know, you're hoping for just a spray down, but we saw from Hobbit's position, like he gets one and he just gets traded by the tech. So for both B players to do that, to offer up huge risks in Spirit, could just run in, grab 2 AKs, get a bomb plant. Like, that's a very risky play, but it shows the kind of mental state the Gambit are in right now. They believe in their aim, they believe in the fights they're taking, and Shiro was there early on a rotate too. So just staying as mobile as he was on overpass. Now 4A, out of spawn, thinking Spirit won't go back to B. It's not the right read, but it's not going to cost them yet. Hobbit can play that retake utility towards Banana. This often forces players back out. They don't want to get caught, but SunDaeYoung goes aggressive with it, and he eats a flashbang. Now he's in the molly. His teammate saved him there by smoking that Molotov. SunDaeYoung was so blind, he didn't know he was burning. It was a really nice combo for Hobbit, though, to bait someone into that molly. A good team play, and actually, yeah, that's Hobbit's smoke maybe missing. Even so, it doesn't matter. Gambit are still believing in this quad A hold because Spirit have gone quiet at B, and that is not the play. Here they come into the B bomb site.
Oh, Hobbit blinded, still gets away with a kill. And is hungry for even more than that. Now he is just here fighting alone. Shiro has taken up position in CT and throws a supporting flash for Hobbit, who could get caught out in the open, and indeed he will. Inter's up through the banana at least, pulls this one back into even odds. Gambit still teetering on the edge as to whether or not this is a round they even want to attempt. Pass through that smoke for Axile, and now it's definitely something you're interested in. That bomb hasn't gone down yet either. This CT smoke has actually given Team Spirit an opportunity to get that bomb planted. And now into a 2-on-2. Still no bomb plant to come in. Chopper, oh, it's a rough spot to try and plant him, but he does get the bomb down. Smoke lands, that's going to keep Magics off the angle. Shiro also rotated all the way through CT up to Banana. All that matter as it comes down to another one of these clutches. It was a 1v2. Surely he can't get away with this one. Chopper has denied him so many of these clutch attempts. But is this where Shiro finally gets his revenge? Indeed it is. And it's a big clutch to find. 5-0. A statement piece from Shiro. As Gambit continue to rack up these CT rounds.
Yeah, Spirit was stalling the plant to go for kills, right? To try and, you know, whittle down the retake there for Gambit. But all that did was give Shiro the time to rotate round. I think initially it was probably like the save call. He's leaving, then Axel pushes the CT smoke, he gets a kill, and then Shiro's thinking, well, I'll just regroup with my teammate, we'll trade a banana, we'll get that smoke in. And Chopper had the info. He knew where Shiro was coming from. He dropped a CT smoke second, so it wasn't a question of where is he, it was a question of can I hit the shot, and Chopper couldn't. Shiro, one thing that we see him do a lot, despite being really, really impeccable with his AWP, is he often swaps it out in the retakes. He'll drop his AWP for a rifle in many, many clutch situations, many, many retakes as well. So, yeah, very capable player, not just a one-man army, not just a one-trick player. He's got it all. His pistols are sublime too. Gambit, though, this is a great game from them. 5-0 CT star. Spirit needs something. They're going to move up middle to find it. 4 players here again. Gambit, no fear, we're going for this stack. You usually have the AWP as the solo B player, but it's just Nafany with the util this time around. Hopper waiting on the long fade. Even if he dies, Shiro's back in library. Spirit, they only wanted to put some pressure on. They're going to go back to B. Similar to Overpass, all they've really shown us so far on this map is this bomb site. Will it be much better?
Ooh, Nafany was playing boosted up on the wall. He sees the flashes, he hears the footsteps, and he calls for a rotation, believing that this was destined to be a B play. That is not the case. Spirit have since doubled back. Gambit start to think this is a little too quiet, and they actually flash Nafany into top banana. So he gets this information very, very far ahead of time that it is not the B play, and these rotations start to come back in. Nafany is even flanking banana. Team Spirit, they're getting pincered from everywhere. These players inside of A just need to stay alive for even a moment. Axel gone right away, and Inter's still trying to stay alive. There's Nafany's flank coming in, and it's all gone downhill for Team Spirit. Magics can't navigate the 1v4, and Shiro cancels him out right at the very end. Throughout every single game in this tournament, it feels like Team Spirit, they were bringing the heat, they were feeling confident. You know, these guys have taken scalps like Astralis, like G2, right? They're heroic as well. Yeah. They literally like forced the the disbanding of that team. Actually, that was Gambit. But regardless, yeah, they both beat Heroic. And it's like, man, you haven't really ran into much of a contest yet if you're Spirit. Well, now in this more even matchup where you're no longer being looked at as the underdogs, when the pressure is really on, Team Spirit, they're starting to crumble. And Gambit, they're looking stronger and stronger as the rounds tick up.
Yeah, one thing that was apparent with the 4 days off, and then something that Hobbit was especially vocal about in interviews, it's like, oh, Gambit, we've been doing our homework. We know what Na'Vi are going to do. We're prepared. And that showed in the gameplay, right? Hobbit touted the incredible analysts and coach and all the support staff of Gambit that helped them get to that position to know what their game plan was. It was a perfect game plan. Well, I wondered, would that be a worry in the inverse for them now? Spirit have had as much time to prep for Gambit being straight to the semi-finals. And Gambit, well, they've only had a day off since their last matchup. But right now, everything is working wonders. Spirit have not got an answer to the questions provided by Gambit. Boosts up. Gambit avoiding getting picked to B in most of these rounds. Hobbit spotted in spawn, can drop his util to stall this B play. Molotov comes in. Spirit are in no hurry.
Yeah, slow on the approach into B. With Team Spirit, they can feel this game getting out of hand, and they know that soon they've got to break through this wall, or else it's going to be built too high.
Oh, yeah.
For them to scramble over. Bit of utility getting lined up here. That's one for the Coffins. Dropped into play, but an immediate re-smoke and molly combo from Nafany. Team Spirit, do they go through it? They've still got a little bit of time to work with here. They don't have to rush this smoke yet. But with Shiro now rotating into CT spawn, that's only going to serve to complicate matters. You can see Team Spirit do take that bomb down, Banana, and look to group up at A. There are only 2 players here, but Shiro's doing a good job of being this player in rotation. Magic's trying to draw the attention back into a B bomb site that Gambit win the fights at, and so they don't over-rotate. They keep this stack here towards A. Shiro even blindsiding Mir on that CT push, and Gambit, they find a 7th round, barely even breaking a sweat. Spirit, they try to really get in your head there, right? They take Banana, they throw some B nades looking like an execute. They go back to A while faking B with the rifled players, and Gambit still read into the round really well.
Once that bomb got dropped on short, Mir's like objective is, well, I'm going to kill Shiro on the rotate. I know what he's doing. I know where he's playing. Let's find him. And he still gets caught from behind the pillar. So there's just nothing turning out good for Spirit right now. There's nothing working. They can't even find the kills. I mean, look at this scoreboard. The man who was missing in the start of Overpass Magic's 6 and 7, he's performing. No one else above 2 kills. Scary stuff for Spirit. A scary start on their map pick with these semi-finals coming to a close for them, the entire tournament, in fact, if they can't find a win here and now. But Gambit, I mean, Shiro's not even died yet, and we're 7 rounds in. 9-0. Absolute death stare from Gambit into the eyes of Spirit. And one more buy round at least, right? Where do they go fast? I'd like to see this banana control get taken by Spirit if they have the spawns for it. Shiro's yet to AWP B out of spawn, even though he's always there when the commitments come through. He's always playing A first, waiting for this mid pick. Spirit aren't really giving it to him. They know the tendencies. They do throw in a quick long smoke, though, looking for a faster mid approach, perhaps. But again, just on their default, 3 up B, 2 in middle, in no hurry.
Oh, they hear the molly make physical contact with the CT player. Oh, and they deal with Hobbit on the swing. That's a big kill to have found, because now you know there's only 1 man left inside of B. It's Nafany, who cannot stand the test of time. And Gambit, they might just save right away here. You know, you've lost those 2 B players. You don't catch anyone as they rotate into the bomb site. And Gambit, you know, even though they've been winning rounds and relatively cleanly at that, the few close ones that they have had has meant that, you know, the money isn't really established yet. So to keep things in good standing, to not give Team Spirit a direct avenue back into the game, it looks like they will just commit to this save.
Chopper's so methodical. He even had a lineup for that CT smoke that he threw while peeking it, right? Like, not over the roof, just looking into the wall and then running forward with the smoke. It's like how people throw mid nades in Mirage when they're smoked off in window to the top boxes. So methodical. And, you know, everyone else in their pugs, me included, we're going to eyeball that smoke, but that can leave it with gaps. Chopper makes sure there is no chance for Gambit to get back in through CT. But yeah, the save, like you said, was already confirmed. And Spirit find their first. It was about time. A little worried about these low HP Banana players, but they've done the maths and it checks out well. So 5 alive for Spirit, and money is the aim of the game here in a round like that, right? That's why Gambit save. They know they have the cash, but they don't want it to dissipate too soon. Same story for Spirit. They don't go hunting because they need to establish their own economy here, and that they have done for now. 7-1, baby steps.
Shiro still yet to die as well. 9-0, a scary scoreline. He's always keen to try and take these early mid fights as well. A lot of freedom in knowing that that AWP isn't out on the other side. Once again, back in with this fast top mid utility, and Nafany, while he does get checked, all the damage is dealt to Magix. There's his return though. Deals with that pest over in top mid. Team Spirit, I don't know how he's still alive.
Yeah.
They're doing every little trick in the book to try and nade him down.
I think he jumped ult not into that corner, because if they knew he was in that corner, he would be dead. They've got the lineup, so I mean, they just threw the nade to the jump up on Apps. Would have killed him if he was anywhere near it. Now he is, but nades have been used. Only one Molotov left on Gambit. That is at least on the right side in the pit, could throw into the apartments. And even though Gambit are a man down, they've got the read once again, all too familiar with the a man hold on A. Double pit setup as well. 40 seconds, a flash comes in, Axel's blind, he drops the smoke, but Inters has his cover, has his control, and has pit on lockdown. 3 kills and the bomb loose as well. Inters is on one right now, and Spirit may have been a man up. They can barely get out of the house.
Ooh, Sumdar Young, man, you got 20 seconds. He needs to decide, does he stay or does he go? His double pit hold is quite the threat to deal with, and Axal's going to mop up the remaining players between him and Inters. It's another concise round for Gambit. Man, like Gambit, they mean business right now, you know? And I think for Team Spirit, this is like the worst matchup they could have had. I think one of the things that's helped Team Spirit out a lot is being the underdog in a lot of these games, right? Feeling like you've got a lot to gain and not much to lose if you're Team Spirit. Well, in a matchup like this, you know, Team Spirit, I think for a lot of people, especially when you think about the fashion in which they got to these playoffs, you might have come into it looking at them as the favorites, but nah, man, when the playing field is even, when it's anyone's game to take, that's when the pressure's really on. You're up against someone else from your region, someone that you've had a bit of a back and forth affair with.
Yeah. For Gambit, I don't think this could have been a better matchup, right? Like, you know, they're more than happy facing a team at their level, quote unquote, even though this event's been very different. We've seen a lot out of these two rosters. Like, Gambit, they're fine bringing it to Team Spirit, clearly, and Spirit probably would have preferred Na'Vi in this position because we know how Na'Vi can be susceptible to those CIS teams. I mean, look at the quarterfinals yesterday. Right now, though, bit aggro for Nafany, finally taking some moves down middle, and it will cost Gambit quite heavily. Spirit was set towards B, and they rotate out with that kill. Fake for Mia. Although I say fake, the bomb's coming. Will it be joining? It's a very early smoke considering their positions. It's going to telegraph the players. Shiro comes in on rotation, even Axal as well. I love this call for Gambit. They're making a big risk. They know if they lose one man in a solo B hold, they're just going to have to save. So why not throw all your bodies at the problem? If Spirit go A, fine, they can have the round. If they go B, well, you're in for a penny, you're in for a pound, you're in for a chance to win with a man down.
Shiro, the man that Team Spirit just cannot beat. He's here early and forced out by the Molotov. They deal with Hobbit, but the spray from Axal so close to getting away with absolute murder. In back through again, and Axal, ooh, with the triple. It's 9 up on the board. Axal makes it look all too easy. Just barrels through that CT smoke for the second time in the round. And he puts Gambit up onto 9. You're dead on, Hugo. He stacks over towards B. They make that decision, right? As you say, if they go B, maybe remember the chance. If they go A, we just save. And honestly, that would have been the game plan, right? Like, regardless of what side it ends up on, you probably would have been saving. So you just make the gamble. You stack B, and it pays off.
And if you're Spirit, you're head in your hands at that moment. You're
that
like,
was your round to win.
We just got 3K by the pit player in B. What's happened, guys? What's going on? How do they know? They just lost Nafany pushing down middle. Surely Spirit would go A, but no. Right into the stack, into the fray, and there's nothing that can go wrong for Gambit right now. They can feel it. They can feel that grand final. They know how within reach it is. 7 rounds from it. Waiting in the wings, Liquid and VP still about to play.
It just feels like Spirit need like a break in the momentum, right? Like, Gambit are riding that same high that Spirit got to ride for so long, right? Throughout the play-ins, throughout the group stages, beating Astralis. It felt like, you know, no team could actually get within reaching distance of you and you just weren't getting staggered back all that much. Well, Gambit, you know, they win their map convincingly. Now, on the map pick of Team Spirit up 9-1, they're all smiles. They've got no reason to be doubting themselves. It feels like they're destined to make these grand finals. Whoa! Success just breeding more success as Inters does the impossible, stays alive for way longer than he should have been able to get away with. And that round is swept aside as well. Gambit, they put a 10 up on the board. They reached double digits. Team Spirit, it looked like they were going to get in on that round. It looked like they'd finally broken through. And yet somehow, those players inside of A stay alive for an uncomfortable amount of time.
Everyone is blind in that situation. The CTs, the Ts, no one knows what's going on. Both players are just shooting because they can. And I've got to say, in this series, back on Overpass as well as here and now, we've had a lot of team flashes for Spirit. Maybe it's the comms, right? Like, you got to know where your flashes are going. You got to make that pretty crystal clear as to where you're going to look, especially when you're playing this fast. Rounds like that where you're team flashing your entry player into the bomb site, like, you know, it's not a case of blame whose fault it is, but it is just a fact of the matter. It is the communication ruptured for Spirit, and there's the results. Not nice.
Something that's mental as well is, like, you know, Magic's had a slow start to this best of 3. As the young player, you were worried, like, will he get rattled on the back of this? Well, he's top of the board. We need more from the more experienced players on Team Spirit. Shiro trying to get aggressive here. Doesn't want to throw away the flawless KD, so he does back out of there. Molly keeps them out. And yeah, missed smoke from Team Spirit. These little mistakes just showing that there's a lot of pressure riding on the shoulders of Spirit. They can feel this game getting away from them. And that would put an end to their tournament run in Katowice. Desperate times calling for desperate measures. Out into top mid they go, but to their dismay, everyone is dead in an instant. It's just Dexter left alive. And while he has dealt with the first 2, there's still more where that came from. Inters, low HP at long, could offer up a kill. Shiro, long rotation up through mid. Dexter goes quiet, but only for a moment as Shiro keeps the flawless KD in check. 12-0, while Gambit are up 11-1.
And you just can't take this away from Gambit, right? Like, not only are the individuals popping off, Axel had a great overpass. He's 17-5 right now. And even there in middle, in that crossfire with Inters, they both get a kill. And Axel, he could have hung around. He could have stayed there for another frag. But instead, he just jumps out. He backs out. He knows that the pressure's on Spirit. Gambit is still playing safe CS. They're still playing smart, despite nothing failing, nothing going wrong, and all the fights being won. You can't not love this team right now. And even if you don't, well, they'll make you respect them, as Spirit are learning the hard way. 11-1 and more pistols. Is a fast play the solution? I don't even know at this point what is.
Well, something that has been very, very telegraphed is that Team Spirit are always taking this B control before they're going A. And so Gambit are just playing stacked in B to begin these rounds. But in this round, Some Die Young with the Tech 9 makes it look deadly. Are they ready for Hobbit? This third man here. Oh, Some Die Young with the flick. Will keep this B site belonging to Spirit. And so one man and one man alone has been able to put up a second round for them. But is that realistically enough? Look into the future of this game.
Pretty far-fetched no-scope there for Some Die Young. Don't know how he hits Hobbit. Pure cerebral gameplay. Was not ready for that third man at all. But a round is a round, as you say, Harry. And I don't know, like if you're Spirit, you just got to keep taking them as they come, right? You're not thinking about the CT side yet. You're just scrapping for 4 at the half on a map that you have been dancing on this tournament. It's not a good feeling. But 2 is something. 2 is better than 1. Hey, so they doubled down and they've got to do it once more. Still good money for Gambit as they save their weapons. Look at this no-scope. Bang. Yeah, a good fast B play. The difference there is it's not telegraphed. No one's ready, like dropping Molotovs. No one's ready for Gambit to set up pop flashes. It's just one flashbang, and Young W modes that CT spawn, just charges in. So, yeah, it's a good eco strat. You can't run that in gun rounds, right? You want to use your utility. You want to play a little more methodical. Chopper's known for his fast plays in the past. Can he really cool more in this T side, especially when Gambit are even peeking down mid for that info? They're again triple B. Nafany turned, though, from the flash, and Young eats a nade. There is a response for Hobbit, but Mia catches him dropping a Molotov, but it never leaves his hand, just drops on the ground instead. 4-on-3, Spirit with another man up. Know that there's likely to be a third man in play here, so as long as they can clear him out, they can win the round here and now.
Oh, they just missed the timing. Inter's swinging wide. Does he know about the man tucked in the corner? Oh, there's the swing, and Inters is quick. No trade in sight for Dexter. He's a little late to the party, and while this has happened, Shiro even rotating into CT spawn. That bomb is still down at T-ramp. To Team Spirit, they've got options open. Do they want to keep up with this B offensive, or are they going to go back to A, anticipating the B stack? Chopper is making a bit of a play in through the apartments. He hasn't seen anybody yet. And even he bails out of this position. And Team Spirit start to lean back in towards B. Just Inters here. Gambit. Maybe for the first time yet, about to make one of these wrong reads, right? So often they've stacked the right site at the right time. But this time around, Team Spirit's silence. It's gifted them just a one-man hold in B. Smoke about to go down into CT spawn. Inters playing backside. 15 seconds. Time is running out for Team Spirit, and they still have to clear this man. The push is coming in. And Molly forces Inters out into the open. And the bomb plant now coming in. Gambit might be relegated to a save once again.
Yeah, I think Inters had to get a kill there to make that worthwhile. And if he did finish the job to Magix, that was the bomb, right? Like, I'm sure someone else could have picked it up quickly, but he would have certainly bought time for Gambit to give that a go. But with the money how it is, they don't want to be eco on the last round of the half. They'd rather respect the third and go for a 12-3. Nothing wrong with that from Gambit. But yeah, like you said, the first time they've had a wrong read in seemingly forever, and if Inters doesn't get a kill there, it's an unsalvageable round for Gambit, or at least so they might say. Very, very close to being a 2-on-2, though. Nice Molotov for Spirit to actually clear Inters out of position. And honestly, I'm very impressed they win that round, considering how, you know, Mir gets caught by Inters alone. Dexter backed up to watch B, and in that time, Mir swings wide and doesn't get traded. I thought that was the beginning of the end for Spirit, but they regroup, they calm down, let that heartbeat rest, and they take a B play with success. 3.5, and Gambit piecing together whatever economy they can for round number 15.
And this time, no triple B stack either. Gambit maybe feeling like change is in the wind. And so instead, they push the apartments. They haven't really tried too much aggression over here towards A. So the big question is whether or not Team Spirit are ready for this. If they don't clear the apartments, this could even free up a third man to rotate round over towards B. Because it's a lot of information for Gambit to have.
Oh boy.
Now rotates yet, but Axel is about to get this info. And at this point, right, you see that top mid's clear, you see the apartments are empty. You're already anticipating that this is ending up in B, and you can see Shiro making his way around now. Hobbit getting risky with it, playing up close to the smoke. Re-smoke down, flashes are in, and Hobbit's off the angle. Molotov is going to do serious damage, and they're caught in the fire. The bomb goes in first, and that is a disaster. Nafany lining up even more utility just to punish Team Spirit. Another molly trying to get thrown in. doesn't get cleared in time. Instead, Inter's boosted up and over, could deny the bomb plant, and there's that kill. A 4-on-3, bomb not down, and Shiro already here, already on location. It's all fallen apart for Spirit. It's all gone wrong. Just Dexter, and there he is, silenced, pincered by Gambit. 12-3 up, looking to make a decisive path into those grand finals. And Team Spirit, they're running out of time.
I think our team can still improve on confidence stuff, because on practice we're doing like impossible things, to be honest, and no one can see how we can beat like tier 1 teams. Sometimes on practice we're like without any chances winning, like 25-5 tier 1 team who is on top 5 by ranking HLTV.org. And if we're gonna play like that with big confidence, with clean mind, we can improve a lot.
Gambit, this is reckless, this is revenge, and this is a 12-3 half in a semi-final. What a start on the CT side for Gambit. Spirit may have picked the map, but they're going to go home with nothing unless they pull some incredible comeback in this second half. An ace up the sleeve of Gambit, and maybe a grand final placing for these once youngsters, led by Hobbit and Co. And Nafany with some beautiful calling in this series already. Is it all done? Is it all over? Or can Spirit salvage something?
Pressure is now on more than ever, and at least Mir has something to start Team Spirit off the right way. Another kill coming through. Dexter's CZ getting more and more as he pushes in through the apartments. Just Nafany left at the end of the round, and he is trapped behind enemy lines. Team Spirit, they get the pistol at least. Maybe that's something that they can look to build upon. Do Gambit want to take a force here, or is it just going to be the eco? Nah, they're forcing up. They've got a lot of room to work with, right? And they know that even a victory in a round like this, where you're buying pistols, you've got armor behind it, if you find success in this round and start those force buy wars, that back and forth early, then you can just close this game out on the back of it alone.
You can just trade rounds to a win, right? There's no reason to not force it. The only other reason would be like, oh, we believe in our gun rounds so much, we can just play reserves, we can give them one. But why give them anything at a 12-3 half? Pistol may not be yours, but they got some upgraded ones to give a go instead. Hobbit in apps. Re-smoking mid, he can't get supported if he were to make any kind of play here. We've got two players on the short side. Banana getting taken. boost up in CT right now. Gambit are in no hurry. They are holding on to all this utility as they wait for Spirit to use theirs as well. Dex is starting to doubt it and has moved over to B to set up a flashbang. Might even send them aggressive here. They drop off of the boost. It looked like they wanted to move, and maybe he's got a Coffin's flash lineup instead. That seems to be the case. So here they go. And this is big info here coming out for Spirit, but it might be all too little too late. Only 2 on the A site. 1 has already been traded. Sumdai Young has to do it all.
Oh, could get caught with utility out. He at least keeps the short players away, but he's losing players by the second. This force buy now could pan out unless Sumdai Young is able to stay alive. He can't. Dexter has got to do it all. A lot of damage done either which way, but Nafany from the sidelines is in with 13 for Gambit. The force buy finding success and laying Team Spirit to rest. The money is gone. Disaster strikes, and it's a really, really rough time to have that force victory come through if you're a Spirit fan.
And Gambit have full faith, full confidence. They kill 2 players flanking before the bomb is committed, and you can see that hesitation. They stop and they go, wait, should we go back to B? Like, B's empty right now, maybe max 1 player. And they just go, nah, screw it, we'll just W in, we'll just kill Sumdai Young. We know there's only 1 here trapped in the site, let's find him. And Gambit just commit. They don't even have to. They could back up, they could reset, but everything's working. And immediately Spirit may get on the board, but any momentum, any wind in their sails sucked out. 13-4, and the force buy to break Spirit, not just financially, but mentally as well. You can feel this now. You can taste it slipping away, and it's not good. Sour for Spirit as Gambit roll in the money they've made.
It's heartbreaking as well, because we saw the AWP come out for Dexter once in that first half. Well, he might not even get a chance to wield one here in the second half of play, right? Waiting for the opportunity to use it on the CT side, just like Shiro got to constantly. You might never be given that chance. Dexter knows that in a round like this, a big play has to be made, and he looked like he wanted to go down mid there. Decides against it, doesn't want to risk giving away a man advantage early on.
The one gun to putting it to good use, right? Looking for a timing on an ult play, but you can't hang around there forever. You know you can get swung from multiple positions. And he pre-rotates B, Harry, because, hey, it's all Gambit did, all CT side long, and it worked for them, right? Uh-oh. Disaster's about to start.
Oh, don't you dare. Quick switch magics instead. Head taken off. The A site cracked open by Gambit. And Team Spirit left with those 3 B-stacked players. That early rotation from Dexter now. You're kicking yourself over it. It feels like Gambit is just in your head. They know what you're going to do before you've even done it.
That was like the case against Na'Vi as well yesterday. Think about the amount of rounds that, you know, Gambit were like double set inner on train on CT side with the AWP, watching upper. Like it felt pretty one-dimensional, right? Na'Vi did go be a hell of a lot of rounds in that game, but Gambit were always stacked there with 2, if not 3 players. And on the B side of train, like that's a crazy call to make, but they just knew what they were up against. They were ready, prepared, and today is no different. Hobbit giving it over an MP9 if someone wants that. Takes a Galil. Spirit wait for exits. Maybe they push in after the bomb and try and kill these pit players, but I mean, you're too far at this point. You have no nade. To use the Doja nade against Gambit in a situation like this would be insult to injury, but it's not to be done. 14-4. And this semi-final might be coming to a quick close if Gambit have their way.
And I mean, like, what a path that would be for Gambit through these playoffs, right? Let's not forget their journey, along with in fact, all the teams that are left in the playoffs began in those play-ins, right? And then for Gambit to reach the playoffs and just 2-0 their way through the competition without even breaking a sweat. Man, that would be one hell of a statement piece. CIS had to effectively turn on each other to make this happen. And Gambit are looking to emerge the victors. Flash is traded at Banana. They've got a man trapped, and they're quick to try and capitalize. But in the smoke, they meet face to face. And Inters has opened up a B play. The danger of this round swept aside by that smoke push from Inters, who's got 3 in the round. All 3 that have been found for Gambit. And they just grind to a halt again. Team Spirit, where are we going to go? That's the question they're posing right now.
It's like Spirit can do no right. They rotate because they lose 3 B players. Gambit go A, like, oh, You think you have them, you think you know what's going on. And at least Spirit now do, right? They've pushed through, they've cleared this position, there's a gun for Magix, but it's all too late. Oh, Gambit, if Gambit go B, I'm going to cry. Surely they just wrap this A side. Like, this would be the most insulting way to close a 15th. So no, yeah, they stick around. They wrap A, and they've cleared it mostly out. They still don't know it's fully empty. They're being flanked as well. Spirit actually have a really good timing for this play, but it's, you know, you can't lean against Gambit with a man up in a position like this. Hobbit's about to see everything, flicking back, and there's the kill. The spray continued, and Hobbit can clean it up with 2. No fear for Gambit, even with Spirit playing it to the best of their ability. It's still not enough. Grand final point for Gambit Esports, and Team Spirit sweating.
So this could be it. This could be the one investment you get on this CT side as Team Spirit rifles out.
And it sucks.
Limited in terms of the utility, not a diffuse kit in sight. Not the buy you want to begin what would have to be an 11-round streak to make this comeback happen. Gambit, credit to them, never even given Team Spirit the room to move. So at least Chopper has started this round off in a good way. Spirit still clearly feeling the pressure in spite of going a man up early on. They early rotate a 4th man around to A, attempting to outmaneuver Gambit, but that is a dangerous game to play, as we have seen time and time again.
Yeah, how long do you hold this before you start doubting yourself, right? Not long, apparently. Spirit are already sending Amir back to the B-bomb site. Chopper has a smoke. Can throw that in right here, right now. 3rd rotate as well for Spirit. They're really giving it everything, but it's contact for Gambit. They go right through. Chopper drops the smoke. They don't care, but maybe they should have. No CT smoke down, and a 2-man hold to spray Gambit out of the round. I say that. Mir, no traces with the silencer, but Axel still hears the shots, and he fires back through. Now Gambit go quiet. 40 seconds. Can they get Spirit to rotate out? Will they just commit? Axel has walked in with his back to the spawn, and he has a mega flank that might just shut down this semi-final.
Oh, this could be the deciding play right now. Oh, the turnaround from Sumdai Young. While all this is happening, by the way, the bomb is back in the apartments on the back of Hobbit. Shiro alone in pressuring B, trying to draw rotations, but Spirit have not fallen for it. They haven't. Now they're falling for it. Hobbit does spot 1 man back inside of the site, but isn't able to get past Dexter. So, just about 5th round locked in, right? A ballsy decision to make, leaving that bomb to rotate away. 5 to 15, you still need 10 in a row. It is a long, long journey to make this comeback happen. And you've barely even left the door yet.
This turnaround was incredible. Sumdai, what tells him that, maybe his mate comms like, that's just timing of communication. Oh, they could be CT, by the way. Oh, I may as well look. And he's right there. Big flank for Axel never comes into play. And it's a cheeky call for Hobbit to go towards A there. If he gets Dexter, he has a plan and a viable situation to try and clutch out. But it's fine. It's 15-5. Gambit aren't worried. Spirit no, at the drop of a hat. At 1 entry gone wrong with no trade, or that could be their tournament lifeline gone. And that pressure alone, that does a lot to your head. It makes you play scared.
Yeah, I mean, no one for Team Spirit wants to be that first man to go down, right? That first domino in the defense to fall over. Their backs against the wall and rotating at the slightest sign of danger. They preemptively move Dexter away from this A-bomb site, and that just leaves 2 players sat down in the pit.
Look at Long.
This could be a decision that really comes back to haunt Team Spirit. We're looking at Magix and Sumdai Young alone out on this A-bomb site, out on an island. These rotations a long way away. You at least need to trade evenly here. And Magix, spotting these players getting out through Long, now calls for these rotations back. He nails the first shot and the follow-up as well. And this double pit hold is showing its value now more than ever as they just play off of one another. Axel coming in late, 15 seconds, time becoming a problem. And it's Shiro left up in the clutch. He tries to run for the hills. He tries to get away. But with this bottom mid flank in, Shiro is a dead man. 6 on the board for Spirit. The money now broken for Gambit. The big question, though, in the back of your mind is this too little too late, or have Spirit got something going here?
They've at least got breathing room right now. A low buy for Gambit. Maybe they would have forced around the AWP with Axel on 4K, but this is definitely the eco. And so, yeah, Spirit, they can build up some rounds. They can and start getting their groove on. But like you say, up against 15, it all just feels all too good to be true. Very close round there for Gambit. They hit some beautiful timings out on long, catching Dexter on a rotate, but they can't kill Magix in the pit. And that's all that really matters at the end of the day. He's back to apps. He was here earlier until he saw that long was lost and he dropped on in. This is a good position to deal with these pistols as long as he doesn't give them the gun, right? Staying on the edge of the balcony. Axel's going to flash these players into the pit. Magix might get blinded here, although he's looking very much into the wall. Will this work out for him? All he needs to do is hold mouse 1.
Oh, now that he's swung a little wider, this flash could prove devastating. Instead, he dodges it, but he's only good for 1. Samdai Young and Mir should have this one laid to rest, and indeed they do. So there it is. The pistols don't break the defense of Team Spirit. Still having to play catch-up, and they're going to have to for the remainder of this half if they want to get us to OT. To get there, it is a real grind ahead of them, right? Eventually, this loss bonus is going to max out for Gambit, and at that point, you're going to feel like you're running into buy rounds almost every single round.
Yeah, especially if they're getting bomb plants. But, you know, at a certain point, you get bomb plants on Inferno, you're more likely to close the round than not. Oh, that's a run boost. Samdai Young flying off the head of his teammate, doesn't take the spawn. Doesn't want to get baited into what could be death, especially if they have their game plan at the gate, right? They don't need to rush this one. The AWP could be holding. Chopper, with lots of utility, is able to take some control. We rarely see players nowadays commit to logs, commit to corners here, and stay here all round. They often go, clear it out, leave, and then play safe back towards B, because it's such a obvious play to stay in the corners and get mollied out or get cleared. And if your teammate's mollied off at car while you're trapped at logs, there's nothing they can do to help you out. So Spirit play things safe, right? They're just cycling smokes down on B. They're keeping Gambit out. But that's why Gambit are in no hurry. They're not going to execute anything until they at least have pushed Spirit back out of Banana, denied some of that info, and therefore avoided a stack.
Oh, they try to go through this smoke, but Chopper is keeping a watchful eye on it. Double up coming through. Hobbit, in the meantime, makes his presence known in the boiler, and he has dealt with Dexter. Forces the rotation from Mir around to this A bomb site, but they're keeping it under control right now. Shiro and Hobbit still here, still looking to put up a fight. And Samdai Young's got to spread his attention between the apartments and short. Magix is now smoked off as well. And Shiro follows up with the shot. This could be the round that puts an end to Spirit's run. Mir's gone through the smoke. Shiro gets cornered. And now it's all left onto Hobbit up in the apartments. A 1v2, the bomb ticking away, and Team Spirit, they don't know where he is. They cannot seem to find Hobbit, who's just tucked himself in to the Hobbit hole. The bomb not really planted for him. He's got to swing wide on the balcony, but with Chopper going on this flank, he is given a temporary 1v1. This flank needs to come in, and Hobbit dropping down. There will be enough time with all the kits dropped. It's very, very close, and it's not as comfortable as Team Spirit would have liked, but it's still an 8th round up on the board.
Oh, yeah, Mir realizes once he sees Hobbit on the balcony, he wants to get in the corner and just stick the defuse. He'd be safe, or fairly safe. But that flank almost lets it down, almost comes too late. Luckily enough, the round for Chopper, right? Big opening kills back at B and the closer to boot. Shiro, this check-in pit was dirt as well. Just goes through the short smoke, finds that player that's never fired a bullet. Poor Magix doesn't get to play into the round, but it's still a round for Spirit. They're still surviving in this series somehow, some way. 4 in a row, back to B. Gambit with nothing to lose and everything to gain. May as well run them down with the pistols.
The trades are good. The utility's even better, though, right? You stop Gambit flooding through that choke point with the mollies, and now you smoke off their next available option over here in top mid. Team Spirit, credit to them, right, for remaining this resilient, for not being broken mentally up against this scoreline, and still following like every precaution you can. Gambit are out in top middle now, and Team Spirit having to keep this defense divided. Magix was not able to get anything done from the pit in that last round. Now we need him to. He spots the short players. He calls for these rotations. Temporarily, the attention off of Apartments, but he flicks back up onto it. And so it is just Inters left alive. They swing him at the end. And Magix is going to put up a triple. 9 to 15.
Yeah, I don't want to get ahead of myself.
Oh no, this is, yeah. Go on.
You win
Caster's curse.
You win your next gun round, true. Watch them lose now. You win your next gun round, and suddenly things get really exciting, right? Double digits, low money for Gambit. You mentioned earlier, they're just running off a loss bonus right now, and that is true. But 3,400 capped out with no bomb plant is nothing to marvel over.
That Gambit check has gone right into your bank account, hasn't it, Hugo? To try and throw all the curses you can at Spirit.
I'm saying this, I'm not cursing anything, but Spirit are in a good position right now. Given the situation, you just wish that they never were up against 15. Imagine if at the 12-3 half, they actually converted that pistol. Imagine if they ran away and suddenly this was, 9 to 12. Well, you're no longer worried if you're Spirit. You still are here and now. You know this can drop in an instant. But baby steps are turning into large leaps, and double digits is just around the corner. Are you believing now?
You certainly wouldn't be wrong for at least starting to have a bit of belief. A triple B hold early. Magic's jiggle peeking the Apartments. He does not want to give this kill over, because if he does, Gambit, they could spill into the A bomb site. So he's lucky to stay alive there. Getting that info that Hobbit was in the Apartments triggers a rotation away from B, and now Gambit have their eyes set on this banana control. Chopper flashed off the angle. You need him to deliver here. So the utility keeps Team Spirit at bay for the time being.
Very methodical for Gambit though, right? Like clearing out everything they can. Not seen that lineup, but I imagine it's a top car smoke. Yep. Hobbit missed his earlier, but that one is far better. Gambit, they've got to concede for the time being. Triple B for Spirit, putting the AWP here as well. That has, in essence, been Spirit's undoing in rounds, right? Over-rotating, whereas Gambit had the perfect reads. Flash in, and they regain this control.
If you hear that flash, you know that that means that re-aggression has come in towards the top of Banana, and Mia makes the presence known. Chopper holding that angle alongside Mia is good for one, but the trade is through for Shiro. And Gambit, do they look to accelerate this? Do they look to pick up the pace now? Hobbit has left those apartments, so the B play is coming in. Mia, back of the site, needs to just buy time, needs to just stay alive, and he does even more than that, in with a lot of damage and a kill as well, dropping the bomb out in the open. Gambit, this round, looking to slip away from them. Shiro holding on to Banana, but is very quickly the last man alive. And he's getting surrounded. He's pincered in and just wants to stay alive with the AWP. Instead, it's a death after time for Shiro.
Okay.
Throwing the money of Gambit into disarray, and Team Spirit picking up steam.
All right, okay, all right. Yeah, sure, 10 rounds, that'll do. And no money on the AWP. Oof. This actually could have been a buy for Gambit. It might still be just due to the fact that he's screwed no matter what. But that's not a round that you want to be losing it away like that and losing the AWP as well. Unfortunate scenes for Gambit, but Spirit, 10 rounds. And the eco's in for Gambit as well. Shiro just trying to get back in the game. He knows this round is done for him already, right? He can't even buy anything. And he's a bit miffed that he loses his AWP in such a fashion. He could have at least had it in an eco like this. Good round for Spirit, though. The re-aggro at B, and what's worth noting is Gambit lose 2 players at the half wall coming up. They had no flashbangs in that round. They had nothing left to clear the corners. So even as Spirit retake top Banana, we see the effect that that has. Gambit can't do anything about it. Oh, great deke for Hobbit. That's a gun gifted. Can Dexter get it out of there? Does he even want to risk swapping weapons and getting caught? No. Sticks around with the smoke instead. And drops into the pit with the AWP. He's at least on the A site for a change. Mir on and off angle, catches one. Second won't clear him, and Mir calls for support. It comes in the form of some Dayong. 1 by 1, Gambit are falling. 15-4, now 15-11, unless Hobbit has something up his sleeve.
Yeah, man, even for the tricksy hobbitses, though, it's not going to be enough, right? You can't find anything in that situation. Sumdai Young really did start to come alive. Towards the end of that first half, he was sat on 3 kills. Then he starts to find his footing on the back of that Tech 9 B rush, if you remember. And since then, he's been lights out. So it feels like, you know, we're finally getting the spirit that we wanted to see. And they've also knocked Gambit's confidence a hell of a lot.
Yeah.
You know, if you remember how this game started, Gambit was just uncontested. Everyone was all smiles. There was no frustration. Well, now you're starting to get worried. Team spirit. Trying to do the impossible. Lots of utility used at Banana. This definitely gives away this triple stack for Spirit. So I wonder if Gambit try to use this to their advantage, try and get something accomplished over here at the A bomb site. 3 Molotovs were throwing down the Banana. So you know that this triple hold was there.
Ugh, get out of there. Spirit will take it instead. The AWP on the boost as well. I've been waiting for this. Dexter's not really had a lot to do in this CT side. Like, he's often been getting avoided or is in the triple B play, and his team are able to do it as he flashes them in. But this time he's on the half wall, and even if Chopper stays or goes, Dexter can lock down B. B is not the worry, though. Gambit are walking up short right now, and Spirit have no idea. Sumdai with a spot, Magix with a swing, and now it's up to the short players who can't win a fight either. Magix with 3, and Sumdai is drawing them in as Magix knocks them down with the ace. Spirit onto 12, and there is no stopping them right now. They are feeling it more than ever. And Gambit, they can't even get up short. They can't even get this control. Oh dear.
Gambit are finally learning what it feels like to run into a wall that you just cannot seem to get past. Magix coming into this map was the only guy stepping up. If you remember, he was like 10 and 10 while the rest of the team were 3 and 10, right? No one was even close to him. It must feel great now to look down the line knowing that you're still giving this your all and the rest of your team are as well. 12 to 15. You feel it in the air. You can feel it coming. And maybe there's a chance after all. Gambit, no money in these bank accounts, not enough that you might be, I mean, you could buy, right? Everyone but Shiro could buy, but it's one of these weird scenarios where if what we've seen from Gambit in the past is anything to go by, they like to have everything, right? They like to have the AWP on Shiro, all the utility. We've seen those lack of flashes betray Gambit before, and so they just take a partial investment here.
That was their last time out too, Gambit. No more sit-downs with the coach, no more breathing room. Spirit are in your face. Fast smoke on the long side. Nafany drops the porch molly as well, but they aren't committing through this smoke surely, especially not with a Molotov in their choke point as well. Gambit just going back to abs pops. But you're walking into Magix, and man, he's had the recovery of a lifetime. Quite the arc, 23 and 19. An ace in the previous round from this position. Why stop now? 4 on A, Chopper, tasked with that B hold, and he's been damn good at it as well. Sumdai Young can swing when Near makes contact, and there he does. Sumdai Young off for support, but he sees nothing, and now it's the abs pop. Now it's the drop into the pit. Magic's ding, but he doesn't care. It does not make a difference, the health, as he picks them up. Dexter killing the cross, and while he will eventually fall, it's all under control for Team Spirit. Shiro's gone 2, and 13 to 15. The impossible is happening.
And so this is it for Gambit. You know, you've put all your faith in this buy round, and at least thanks to having so much residual money, regardless of what happens here, you will be looking for a buy up against 14 as well. You've got 2 more attempts to get this game over the line. As you said earlier, from 15 to 4, now 15-13. Gambit, they've been referred to as the Reaper, right? The Grim Reaper. They've just been axing teams left and right throughout this event. You weren't expecting Spirit to roll over and die so easily. They're not looking to do so. The Reapers come knocking, and Spirit's there to greet them with a smile at the door. Slow control over towards the apartments while the rest of Gambit sit back at ramp, this time not looking to get churned up by this banana utility.
This is a good smoke for Hobbit, though. It's a lurk smoke. He's going to keep Magix's attention, especially if things are looking to end B as they are right now for Gambit. They've got a clear Chopper, but as long as Magix is drawn away and not able to rotate, ooh, it's not a good smoke. That falls a little bit deeper. Usually you can't get this kind of angle. That's a one-way for Magix, if anything. So he can confirm that this is not a commitment. They're still trying to get up B.
This is a ballsy position for Chopper, right? You mentioned how no one really hangs close on these corners. That's the reason why. Chopper is now cancelled out of the round, and so Spirit, they go a man down. This is the best chance, the best lead that Gambit have had in a long, long while. So the pressure now really mounting for the rest of Team Spirit. Degster, if there ever was a time to show up the way that he has in so many of these Spirit series, it would be at a time like this. Hobbit blindsiding Magics. Now the options even open to go back, but instead they bolster the B hold, they double down on the cool, and they deal with everybody. Some die young, throwing into a 1v4 to try and keep that dream burning. And right now, Gambit are nowhere to be found. No peaks offered up. Re-smoke down in CT. They're looking to keep it neat and take it over the line. Team Spirit, they tried so hard, but in the end, Shiro is there to carry Gambit.